Last week, we invited talented YouTuber Chug Nerd into the Distillery 2 studio to talk about his gear, his channel, and the place of guitar in the music industry. Welcome back to All About Guitar. Today we have a special guest in the studio. I'd love to welcome you to Chug Nerd.
Hey.
Hey. Thank you so much for coming in today and spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
What are you up to right now musically?
I've probably split down into 3 different avenues. Professionally, I've got a little rehearsal studio, which I run in Devizes in Wiltshire.
What's that called?
It's called HK Studios. So it's named after my band, which is Hollowin. So it's our little base. And it's just a rehearsal studio, but it's been there for about 15 years and it just got really run down. It was in a horrible, horrible state. And I approached the guy that was running it and said, look, let me buy this off you and I'll take it over. And it is just been my passion project. I love it. It's a real little community of musicians in there. I'm super proud of it. I love it. It just kind of gave me a whole new lease of life, which was amazing. So that's my kind of main thing. With that, like I mentioned, I've got my band. So my band is called Hollowin. We call ourselves groovecore. So it's like groove metal, like Lamb of God-y kind of thing, but it's got a little bit of that metalcore element, like Killswitch Engagey, Machine Heady kind of stuff. So it's super groovy, super heavy, but with a little bit of melody kind of thrown in there just for people to kind of latch onto. This is my newest acquisition. This is an ESP LTD TE-417, and I picked this up on Marketplace just recently, and I have fallen in love with it. It's absolutely amazing. I love Tele-shaped guitars. I love satin guitars. Black isn't my favorite color on a guitar, as you'll see from the rest of my collection that I bought today, but I love the way it feels. I love the way it plays, and I love the fact that it's got like an old school, heavy, modern metal sound to it with the EMG 81 in the bridge position. In the last 12 months, started a YouTube channel as well, which is Chug Nerd, which is my own channel, just kind of looking at guitars, a real passion project of mine.
Awesome.
I love.
What we do All About Guitar is the community-led thing. So one of the things that brought you to my attention was the rehearsal space, was the fact that you've collaborated with a lot of local guitar technicians that I know as well. So there's your name is always bouncing around in that community space.
Amazing.
So one of the things we needed to do was to get you in for a chat,
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so this is my Solar T2.7 LN Plus. This is my #1. This is my first guitar that I pick up. It's my favorite guitar to play. It's my favorite sounding guitar. It's extremely sentimental to me because on the back, my little girl's scribbled all over it and written me lots of messages because when I went away on tour a couple of times in 2025, I want to take a little piece of her with me. And being this is my #1, I thought every time I'm on stage, I can look down and I'll always be reminded of her. So it's, very sentimental guitar to me, and it absolutely rips as well. It's such a nice guitar.
Being part of the studio setup, being part of running that, and then also running your own band, and then running your own YouTube channel.
All kind of links in together nicely. I started in February last year. I didn't really start with any ideas of grandeur. It was just, I wanted to do it. I'm 40 this year. So it's kind of like, if I'm going to do it, let's try and get something off the ground before I turn 40. I'm massively influenced by like Ola England, Xander Raymond Charles, Taylor Danley, Samurai Guitarist, Paul Davids, all these different amazing YouTubers that I've watched for years and years. It's really easy to watch some of these guitar YouTubers and kind of watch from a place of jealousy, like, wow, they get sent all these cool guitars, they get to work with all these, amazing companies, and they get sent all this free stuff. It's like, no, they've worked really, really hard. They've set up from nothing. Most of of these YouTubers have started with nothing more than their phone in their like lounge or whatever, and kind of built it from there. I've always tried to look at it from a place of respect. You've really earned this kind of mantle that you sit on and the audience that you've got. So I wanted to be part of that community, and I was aware that it was going to take a lot of work, and it does take a tremendous amount of work. But what I really wanted to gain from it wasn't riches. I didn't want to add another wing to my estate or anything like that. It was that I wanted to do cool stuff like this, be here. That was what I wanted to gain from it, was to meet new people, to have nice experiences in life that otherwise I might not be able to do. All right, so this is my Epiphone Gold Glory Jared James Nichols Les Paul, and this is a complete one-of-a-kind, heavily modified instrument that me and my luthier Mark from Works Guitar Repairs, he helped me modify this. So this originally came with all chrome or like kind of silver hardware and such, so we replaced everything with black, everything on it. We got some nice new go-to lock-in tuners in the back, which are lovely. They look awesome and they stay in tune super, super well. We put strap buttons and stuff, locking strap locks on it. We've got a brand new Wilkinson wraparound bridge on the back here, and this is the shining star of this guitar. That is a P90 sized Damasio super distortion humbucker in there, and we had to get a 3D printed custom dog ear mount for it as well, because this came with a dog ear pickup on it. And then we just put a coil split in it as well, just to give it a bit of versatility. But this is an absolutely stunning guitar. I love this.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It's to A, enjoy yourself while you're doing
Absolutely.
it, but B, don't expect anything.
Nope.
And we've had this conversation about what this has become. You know, All About Guitar, as we did a little video about it a little while ago. You know, it's been around for 6 years, 7 years this year. It's just a community space and someone at the end of the phone to get some advice from, whether it's tuition, customizing your guitar, whatever it might be. And it sounds like we've got a very similar ethic.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to YouTube, you know, it's just be able to talk about what we do and go, do you know what? If anyone's interested, get in touch.
Yeah.
You know, let's help them out and let's, you know, get these people to progress in their guitar journey a little bit further.
Yeah. The online guitar community is phenomenal. It's absolutely amazing. I get so much support from peers that I've never met. I've got friends in America and in Germany and all over the world. It's absolutely amazing that are just so supportive of what I do, and equally I give that back to them. I'm super supportive to them and encouraging, and it's just really nice how everyone kind of lifts each other up. All right, so this is the only other guitar I brought with me today. This is the Legator G7XA. This was the 10th anniversary Legator that they released, and I brought this because this is the absolute shining star in my arsenal. This is a made in Japan, nearly £3,000 guitar that I got for a very good price of £650. But if you want to know the full story, you'll have to ask me about it in the comments section. This is an utterly gorgeous guitar. It plays phenomenally. Ergonomically, it is astounding. It sounds great. A little bit bright, but you can control it with the amp. And yeah, it's just an unbelievably well put together guitar. It's beautiful. I love this guitar. And the reason I bought this is because the band that I used to be in, the stages we were playing were tiny, and I was using the Solar, such a long guitar this, and I kept hitting our singer and our bassist while we were playing. So I bought a headless guitar for that, only for that reason. And it's only because I saw this for so cheap that I bought this particular one. And it was only because on stage, because I move around a lot, I didn't have to worry about hitting anyone.
If you say to my kids, what do you want to be when you're older? One of them will be a YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
And it won't be Rockstar.
No.
Not anymore.
What would you say to people who want to start their own YouTube channel? What's the hardest thing to get over?
Posting your first video. The only reason I started was because of a video I was watching of Xander Raymond Charles. And he wasn't talking about YouTube, he was talking about releasing music. And he said something to the tone of, just do it, just release it, just put it out into the world. You've got everything you need at your fingertips nowadays. You've got your phone, you've got a camera, you've got, it's so easy to just record anything you want. You don't need there's no borderline qualifications you need to get into it. The hardest thing is having the confidence or the courage to just click post. That's it. Everything else, it doesn't have to be fancy. I look back on my first videos, I was using a GoPro, because that was a GoPro and an iPhone, that was it. There's no bar, there's no level that you need to hit. You don't have to be able to sweep pick. You don't have to be able to, recite every arpeggio of every chord in the world. Just do what you do that, Dave. Do it to enjoy it. That's the most important thing, I think. Just do it. If as long as you're enjoying it, whatever that be in life, I think you're onto a winner. Yeah, and if that's your motivation, then that's all you need. Cool things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think essentially it's just a case of put yourself out there.
That's it. That's
do it. Getting over
just
that hurdle of doing it.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah. And just try and enjoy it along the way, yeah. And you're always going to find resistance. You're always going to find negativity. Whatever you do in life, you can look at you could look on Tim Henson videos, and there will be negative comments. And if Tim Henson gets negative comments, then you can't take anything too personally online. Yeah. Because I get negativity. Everybody gets negativity online, but
don't listen to the trolls.
Try not to listen to them. Yeah. Easier said than done, but my mum was always like, kill them with kindness. Just go back and just be overly nice. So that's what I usually try and do, is just go back and be overly nice to them. Yeah.
That is definitely the way to take it. I think that there's big lessons in that.
James Blunt it. Just go back and because he's the king of Twitter. Yeah. Most important thing with the pedalboard is it has to be functional. I am a set and forget kind of person. I don't like options. I don't like too many things to think about. So if I find a sound I like, it stays, and I don't tinker with it. I don't mess with it. So that is what this board is all about. It's just functional. There's nothing exciting on it. First of all, we've got the big sky, and I'm going to apologize first of all at the state of my pedalboard. You'll notice it is grimy. We use body paint when we play on stage, and that is what all this black is. That's just me sweating off black ink off of my arms. So apologies that it's not very clean. But yeah, in the effects loop, I've got the Strymon Big Sky and the TC Electronics flashback delay, and that's just for some nice shimmery tones. My main distortion sound comes from the Empress Effects Heavy Menace, which just tickles every box in my brain for what I want to have a drive pedal. I've got the Digitech whammy, of course, because I'm a modern metal guitarist and I have to have it. And then my wah pedal is the Morley wah, because it is always on. You don't need to press a button. It's just always on. And then when you use it, it starts. And when you stop using it, it stops. And that's just perfect, because I like that low wah tone. That low just started. Just down here, I don't like the super fizzy top end. So on a Crybaby where you've got to click it on, I don't like that. So this works super well for me. Got a tuner, obviously. And then, as you can see, I've got the foot switch for the Victory, because that is the amplifier that we are using. Over here, this is my Victory VX, the Kraken, 50-watt lunchbox head. Absolutely love this head. It is all analog, of course. I don't like digital, so that works for me perfectly. It only has gain channels. It doesn't have a clean channel, so I have channel 1 rolled back to about 9 o'clock. So it is like edge of breakup, and then channel 2 I use as a high gain tone for some of the less gainy sounds in our set, because it's not quite set so aggressive as my Heavy Menace. But yeah, love this. And this is just my little travel cab that I use. This is just a Harley Benson vintage 30 loaded 2x12 that I use. Normally I use a orange PPC 412 cab. But yeah, this sounds great. This sounds so good.
Tell us a little bit more about your musical influences.
Everything from Killswitch Engage through to Machine Head, Pantera, all the way through to Bon Jovi, Meatloaf, and Celine Dion. My earliest guitar influences come from like old pop that my mum was playing around the house. So stuff like Celine Dion, which had guitars in it, old pop songs like that, Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, and that's what I listened to growing up, and then that just kind of evolved over time.
My answer to that question is normally anything that can be replicated live, and it sounds like you're very similar to that. Like, as long as it's live music and not pre-recorded and played and pretended to be played, someone who presses play and expects the crowd to go wild type thing. Yeah, I think we share a very similar trait in that sense. Absolutely. If we played live, it's music, right?
Yep, and I think that's, musicians of our generation are very much like that. We like live music and real instruments. So yeah.
What do you think about the current state of music when it comes to guitars?
I think it is a shame that we don't see more guitar in like modern pop culture. And I think that is so important for getting new guitarists into this world, is there has to be a gateway, because it's all well and good going, you know, I like Machine Head, I like Soulfly and all that, but they're niche. So bands like Linkin Park were super important in the mid to early 2000s. Bands like Limp Bizkit, super accessible for everybody. Everybody knew them, but they led on to people getting further into rock, heavy metal, and kind of those kinds of things. And that leads into kind of the guitar culture. And I think it's a shame we don't massively have that many bands or artists that are driven by guitar. Unfortunately, the most kind of popular one you could think of at the moment is probably someone like Machine Gun Kelly, because he's very pop. But he's also got guitars in his music. Even like Christina Aguilera, you know, that there was a lot of guitar in her music in the mid and early 2000s, but we don't really have that. It's all very electronic, and I think that's a shame.
And it's the same, think about Taylor Swift, right? Yeah. Her first few albums were all country, acoustic, pop rock.
Yeah.
And now her latest album is not any of that.
It's all just electric.
Synthesized and all very much more digital and yeah, kind of removed the guitar element.
Which is funny as well, because she's somehow managed to keep that image of her standing with a guitar as well.
Yeah.
When you see sort of billboard images and stuff, she's still holding that guitar. So there's definitely some kind of power associated with that imagery, but maybe it's not as potent as it was 30 years ago. I mean, the bands you were bringing up when we were all younger kids, that definitely leaned into something that we'd all latch onto. But now, that's the problem, is what are the kids getting influenced by?
Yeah, gateway bands and just having it generally as part of your daily listening experience. Growing up, would have heard bands like I said, like Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, you know, people like that. They were real bands. It wasn't just about the singer, it was about the whole band creating music together. And I just think it's a shame that there isn't so much. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but there's less of it nowadays than there was. A band like Maroon 5 is probably the last popular band, I guess. McFly, bands like that perhaps, but it's certainly not as centered around guitar.
There's definitely a split between, say, the 90s rock and metal push into maybe the 2000s, kind of the rebirth of indie rock.
Yeah, this is an interesting subject, I think, for me, because of teaching younger kids, a lot of the stuff they come in and want to learn is stuff that we were listening to.
Yeah.
And they're 11 and 12 years old. So there's nothing new for them to latch on to that guitar with. You're absolutely right. And I've got some younger kids who are really into, you know, the new Linkin Park album, for example, and there's people that are still really into pop punk and that sort of stuff now, having a little bit of a resurgence. Of Bowling for Soup have just sold out Wembley Arena, I think, like 2 nights in a row.
It's amazing.
So that's still a big thing.
Yeah. But it's not new.
But it's not new. No, exactly. Yeah. So what's 2026 looking like?
2026 hopefully should be rather exciting. I'm quite excited. I want to continue to grow and push the YouTube channel. That's like my #1 goal now. I've just been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, which is really cool. So that just means that, thank you so much. I've worked really, really hard. So it was a real big achievement. And like I said, I'm not doing that as any way of kind of becoming rich and famous. It's just nice to know that YouTube supports creators to continue to do what they're doing. Alongside that will be the band, you know, pushing what we've got going on in the band. We've got a couple of tours lined up. We've got a festival that we're doing in May as well, up in Mansfield. So there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up. We're going to be back in the studio. We'd like to do an album this year. I'm hoping that having the YouTube channel continues to open doors in a different way that I can't predict at the moment. When I started this year, I hadn't predicted that I'd be coming here. I've got a podcast I'm going on tomorrow with some guys in Washington, in America, which is amazing. So I hadn't predicted that at the start of 2026, but it's just kind of unfolded like that, which is amazing. So,
and that's the great thing about the community.
Yeah.
Is that, are you free? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do something.
Exactly, yeah.
Check below for more information about Hollowin. We've got links for Spotify.
Yeah, everything. We're everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere online, Spotify, YouTube, everything. Yep, absolutely.
Underneath, check it out. And we want to say thank you very much coming in today and coming and spending some time with us. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been absolutely amazing. I've had an amazing time here. This studio is absolutely unbelievable, and I hope to come back with the band, with the rest of the boys, and do some live recording here, because I think that'll be absolutely insane.
Cool. Well, we'll check you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.